Greetings nerdy list aficionados and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd, the couples, the heroes, and the villains, the barrel. So we're gonna check out some different ones. We're going to the alternate universes and even more obscure moments, hookups, people passing in the night. You can't get enough and we can't stop. Well, more I can't stop. I'm Sasha and these are the top 10 superhero supervillain couples you didn't know existed, part 4. I, as always, am excited. Let's get started. Number 10, Superman x Maxima. I said X slash and. We have to talk about that cover from this Elseworld story where Superman is making out with Maxima. Well, really it's just an alternate reality story. He's making out with her on his wife's grave after Lois had died because woman of Kleenex theory, and she couldn't handle his super baby. This occurred in Armageddon 2001. So what was Armageddon 2001? Well, it was a 1991 crossover series that was not too well received. So in this series, Wave Rider was touching people and it created new timelines. That's the Cliff Notes edition. When he touched Superman, he initiated this last timeline. So in this timeline, Superman married Lois as per usual, but then she died, so Maxima had her chance. In main canon, she was an alien of the Almeratians, and she wanted to mate with him because he was a prime specimen, and as the princess of the planet, that was her mission. It was poorly implemented, but this plot could work, you just have to work real hard. That didn't happen, but instead we have this story, where Maxima gets to be Clark's rebound chick with the promise that she won't die in childbirth, or before. Why is this here on superheroes and supervillains? Well, in main verse once rejected, Maxima goes full supervillain for a bit, cause what's more appealing than that? Number 9, Harley Quinn and Green Lantern. This oh so brief liaison occurs in the Harley's Little Black Book series, a bunch of zany madcap stories featuring Harley doing, well, whatever the author wants her to. In this one, she comes into possession of a red lantern ring, and Hal has to get it back and stop her wild adventures. At the end of all this, Harley demands a kiss, which Hal is more than happy to give cause it's Hal. He doesn't take much convincing. Just point him in the direction of the nearest cave and all his objections will melt like butter. However, then Harley grabs his butt and that's too much for Hal. He flies off. I don't know, I like Hal, but Harley dodged a bullet. I mean, look at the mess that was him and Star Sapphire, his first supervillain hookup. And that one was awkward because at first Carol didn't even know she was Star Sapphire. Number 8, Rick Flag and Harley Quinn. Let's get all our brief moments out of the way first. Rick Flag, founding member, former leader, sometimes still leader of the Suicide Squad, man crush of Deadshot, who has many, but Rick Flag was one of the first, and Batman. Deadshot was obsessed. Anyway, while Rick and Harley were both on the squad, modern slang has ruined that word for me. Squad. Anyway, these two end up sharing a kiss and well more. They just full on hook up. The best part of this though is that it's intercut with Zod freaking out and trying to cut into his own brain using laser vision. So you have two very different moods going on. Steamy hookup on one side of the page, Kryptonian rage on the other. It made me laugh, what can I say? They treat this mostly as just a hookup, but honestly Rick Flag wouldn't be the worst for Harley. Of all of her impulsive romanticized hookup decisions, so all of them, yes that includes Ivy, this has the potential to be one of the better ones? Am I the only one who is seeing her slip back into her codependent ways with Ivy? Just me? Okay. I'm worried about my baby Quinn. She was sane for a lot of this run, by the way, because of the Psycho Pirate. Number 7, Hulk and Umar. So Umar is Dormammu's sister, and during Defenders number 3, she enchanted Hulk to be her sex slave. So this is not consensual, but it's played like a joke by most people. Rape jokes, time and place people. So these two get it on, but apparently the Hulk is disappointing, and Umar proceeds to lecture him about his lack of prowess. Even though this sex was so intense it bent reality, even though it only lasted for 6 minutes. Sex was something that used to be danced around in comics a bit, what with the code being in effect and all that. But when people started to ignore it, well, let's just say some people don't know how to write this stuff in a non-juvenile manner, which is why you get so many of these jokes. People like to say that it's fanficky, but as a near lifelong ficker and shipper, I can tell you that those people hone their craft a lot more than this. They've had practice, people. You watch how they would write these scenes and hold on to your hats. We couldn't even show any of it. But instead, we have 6 minutes jokes. So this was a thing that happened, and it happened again when Hulk was in World Breaker mode, and this time he lasted 3 hours. So Umar was pleased. Let's just leave these two alone. Also, as always, humor is really subjective. So if this is the height of comedy for you, you do you. Defenders number 3 and Incredible Hulks 633. You're welcome. Number 6, Barry Allen and the Reverse Flash. So there have been many Reverse Flashes. Thawne, Solomon, Daniel West, but today we're looking at someone who was thought to be the new Reverse Flash for a bit in the Rebirth arc. She was Barry's girlfriend because Ira's who? Love is dead. She would turn out to be the Negative Flash, laying claim to the negative Speed Force. Now she was not the Reverse Flash, but listen, if you weren't there, you have no idea how hard these articles baited that she was the Reverse Flash. It was all Barry Allen, the Reverse Flash. La gasp. I would have read that though, and with any of them to be honest. I'm just thirsty and open to possibilities. I put this here to ask you a question. Do you read articles like this as comics are coming out? And do you wish the things in them were accurate? Like I did for this one, a lot. Flashes have that problem with people in their lives. Remember when Zoom was Wally's ally and friend only to figure out that he was the Reverse Flash and then cause his wife Linda to miscarry their twins? I remember. Never forget. Number 5. Ravager and Tim Drake. It's always Tim on these lists. So Rose Wilson is one of those characters who is slotted onto whatever Teen Titans team you need her on depending upon the timeline you're in, which is how she can be a contemporary of both Dick and Tim and be the same age as both of them. Seriously, age in comics is such a sliding scale. You go to bed 28 and wake up 22. Anyway, Rose tried to jump Tim, though potentially after drinking, so questionable. Tim, like with many women in his life, is like, what are you doing? And he has to handcuff her to get her off. Then Kid Devil walks in. So this is on here because Ravager was a villain at the start, but it's admittedly a fast turnaround. Number 4. Poison Ivy and Harvey Dent. So this occurred in Batman the Animated Series, and in it, Pamela Isley, who we all know as Poison Ivy, was dating Harvey Dent in an elaborate revenge plot for some land he had developed, which had rendered a rare species of rose nearly extinct. She went so far as getting engaged to him. She was very committed. Hun. She also tried to take out Bruce Wayne, but well, Batman figures it out. So she ends up being revealed as Poison Ivy and ends up in the very prison that was developed on the land that set her off in the first place. Harvey Dent would later go on to become Two-Face and have a contentious relationship with Ivy going forward. Deserved. Number 3. Iceman and Daken. And I'm ready for everybody to yell about how you say his name, even though at a con they said it was Daken. So Iceman and Daken have one of those flirtatious, oh we're fighting and I could break every bone in your body kind of things going on. And by that I mean freeze. Freeze every bone in your body. They even have one of those dance scenes where he starts to dance with him and he freezes him as they dance. And they fully did hook up later on when Iceman had a beard. Just the ice beard is funny to me. What's going on with Daken's affiliation? Well, no one's ever sure, but he's villainous more often than not. Iceman is currently having a thing with Pyro now because fire and ice, no writer can resist. Also now means at the time of this recording. Check the date. Number 2. Roy Harper and Cheshire. So this is a classic villain hero hookup from Roy's dark period after the drug addiction and his falling out with Ollie as a result. And he ended up with Jade, and these two would actually have a daughter, Leanne Harper, whom Jade would leave with Roy as she felt that she would have a better life with him than with her. It was a bond that kept them at least cordial, and it was torn apart by cry for justice, mostly as a shock value death. Leanne died in that arc. This was so Roy could relapse on drugs and have sad our daughter is dead sex with Cheshire. Fun times. Some people know about this one, but we'll see if they bring it back to the foreground. Maybe they already have. Ooh. And number 1, Batman and the Joker. Yes, this one. We're finally going here, but it's not the obvious love that Joker has for Batman, twisted as it is. No, we're going to the alternate universe created by Flashpoint after Barry Allen goes back in time to try to save his mom and jacks up the timeline because, well, he succeeds. Now in this timeline, Bruce was the one who died in Crime Alley, and his parents had 2 very different reactions. His father became Batman and his mother became the Joker, but there's still a love there. So much so that when Thomas goes to tell Martha that their son is alive in another universe, she's thrilled. But when she learns that their son is Batman, it's too much, and she flees, plunging to her death. Depressing. So those were 10 more superhero supervillain couples. I don't know about you, but everyone is hooking up with everybody. Trust no one. I'm Sasha, and these are the... what? I'm Sasha, and thanks so much for watching Top 10 Nerd. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid. I'll see you soon.